Three nerds, two movies, one cinematic universe. The Grolic Cinematic Universe. I'm Randy.
I'm Melanie.
And I'm Jesse.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? Tonight, hide your pigs, because they nabbing everybody.
Oh, no.
The journey might be fun, but I guarantee you, the destination is depression.
So
yeah.
crippling. Oh, don't watch these back to back, folks.
Oh, man. Well, we watched, here's what's happening tonight. We watched Pig from 2021, the Nicolas Cage starring movie, which is why this is happening, because of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And I'm going to butcher, I'm going to say this title 20 times in different ways. Hi, Savannah. And Okja from 2017, directed by Parasite director Bong Joon-ho. Now, by the way, welcome to Season 5 of the Grolic Cinematic Universe, GCU. It's back. It's new. It's weird. It's different.
This is Season Nights?
Season Nights. That's right. First off, real quick, for audio listeners in the future, hi. It's been a while. And the last thing you got was a really salty Randy struggling to talk about the Friday the 13th remake. So what's going on? We got a proper episode for you. You might notice, though, this is going to be a little bit different. First off, it's live. It's recorded live. And it probably won't get the same editing treatment that previous episodes got, because this is kind of how we handle the live episodes. Mm-hmm. For the live people, hey, Savannah, what's going on? Shout out to Savannah. She's a supporter of the show, Cat Dancing tier on Patreon, patreon.com/GrolixPodcast. You can be too. For the live viewer and future viewers, yeah. I don't know how this is going to... GCU is different. So I'm not sure how... I'm looking forward to doing some like chat interaction with GCU, but there might be points at which I'm a little bit more neglectful of the chat, but I'll try not to be. If you tune in live and you have input on the movies we're talking about, I think that's the main thing. We can't get sidetracked like we do on a normal Grolix Nights episode.
Mm-hmm. Because what's the format of a GCU for people who aren't savvy to the GCU? Like, how does this work?
Yeah, if you're new or it's been so long you forgot how this show works, which is very possible, I guarantee there's a handful of people who like have us who are subscribed. It's like, wait, what's the show? When did I subscribe to this?
And Twitch has never seen this.
You're right.
We're popping the Twitch cherry right now.
Savannah says I haven't watched either movie. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. If you don't mind it being spoiled, we're going to avoid spoilers at first. So, back to Jesse's point. Here's the format. For GCU, we watch two movies, a themed double feature. They're usually connected in some way. This season, we're doing the Nicolas Cage thing. So, each double feature has to have one Nicolas Cage movie. And we're going to review each movie briefly, try to be brief. Star ratings are a thing. Keep that in mind. I like star ratings. And then the fun part, we're going to take these two movies and we're going to pretend that, hey, we're big Hollywood movers and shakers and everybody wants a big, successful cinematic universe. So we're going to take these two movies and squeeze them together like hot dogs. We're gonna take all those lips and buttholes and make a cinematic universe out of it.
Oh, good. After watching Okja, that's exactly the image I needed.
Yep, I thought so. Savannah says, I want Face Off with Muppets from Space.
Now I do too. I don't know why.
Is there a theme to? Is there like a shared theme,
like,
or is it
Kermit? Maybe Kermit with Nicolas Cage's face.
I'm not beyond the theme being. I'm not beyond the theme being. It would be fun just mash those up. That's for sure. We call it Muppets from Space Off. That's not good.
Or Office Space Off. Muppets from Office Space. We could do Office Space and.
Oh.
That could be fun.
I kind of want a Muppet version of Office Space now.
Right.
That
right.
kind
Them
of works.
just going to town on this printer. Printer!
The
Toner low!
Oh my God. Animals just beating on it. Okay.
Okay, no, sorry.
What?
Who do you think would want to burn the building down?
Ooh. Isn't there a fire one? Or it'd be Bunsen. It'd be Bunsen. I was told. Bunsen
Right.
and Beaker. And then Beaker would just be back there. Me, 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 me.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
It'd be
There
Bunsen,
you go.
though. Bunsen would be the perfect one.
Good call. See, that episode's done. Thanks, everybody.
There you go.
She said, yeah, I thought they were both such opposite movies. Sometimes opposites attract. Dr. Teeth would be the neighbor in Office Space. Okay.
Okay.
So, here's what we're going to do. I know this is weird. We're going to have to transition into this. Let's do it. Let's jump into it. What movie do we want to talk about first? I'm very curious. I feel like the viewing order makes a difference here between whether you stay on the ledge or you leap off of it. I feel like
See, so I watched it in the order of Nicolas Cage first.
yeah. Us too.
Pull that Cage Band-Aid right off, right? And then I went to Okja, and I thought, well, this one looks a little more whimsical.
Yes.
But I was so wrong. They're so dark. They're both so dark. One is more whimsical and also almost darker. Not really, but almost. Because
it's definitely more graphically dark. It's like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds weird. It's more graphic. I'll say that.
I think it's darker just in general too, because it's not one person's pain; it's a species.
Right.
when like nobody in that movie is having a good day. Nobody. Maybe that Moff Gideon looking guy, but from Mandalorian,
Oh, okay.
yeah, that guy, maybe he's having a good day because he's playing both sides of the field.
You're right.
But other than him, Moff Gideon, Darksaber or none, having a good day.
it's because his chicken franchise is gonna do well.
Right.
Wait, we're not combining this with Breaking Bad, are we? Okay. We can. Okay, so let's start with Pig. Pig, 2021, directed and screenplay by Mikey. Hey, Mikey, like I know him. By Michael Ceranosky. Story by Michael Ceranosky and Vanessa Block. Starring Nicolas Cage, Alex Wolff, Adam Arkin, and other people. Overview. A truffle hunter who lives alone in the Oregon wilderness must visit Portland, I almost said Poland, that'd be different, to find the mysterious person who stole his beloved foraging pig. So the way I traditionally would start these reviews is I'd ask one or either of you, so what did you know about this going in, and what were your initial impressions? What'd you think of this? Pig.
I knew that synopsis basically in trailer form, I guess, and I thought it was going to be like John Wick with a pig.
Yeah, in fact, I feel like somebody somewhere even billed it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's not inaccurate, actually.
Right.
My joke I don't know if it was a joke, but at a certain point I said, this is John Wick, except instead of violence, it's emotion. They're like, they don't attack with violence, they attack with emotion, touching them on a human level. Yeah. Otherwise, it's still John Wick. He journeys into this, like, there's this weird underground of organization almost where they have like, not their own currency, but like there's a fight club, but it's all like restaurant workers. I was like, what? Mm-hmm. It's so weird.
You used to have a name, but now it means nothing. And then he just shows up, and we're like, what?
Yeah.
What is even happening right now? He just went through a hole in a wall.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Afterward, I mean, I don't know that I really thought about it during, but afterward, when Randall and I were discussing it a little bit, I think I think he might have a photographic memory.
Oh yeah, yeah. He kind of implies it that yeah. I don't know what you'd call it,
Hmm.
but basically a photographic memory.
Yeah, I think that's cheating.
Think it's. I mean, he'd have to, right? If he remembered every meal he ever made and for
Hmm.
every
Yeah, for
customer,
every
and like
person.
if
Yeah,
he ran a restaurant for any amount of time, the number of people he would have had to have
Hmm.
served. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was a good
Savannah
boss.
says
I know that.
matchstick men and babe equals pig. I'm gonna throw that in there. Uh, Jesse, what did what were your initial thoughts on this?
I basically thought the same thing, and I hadn't really thought too much beyond it. But I had heard that it was more dramatic and less violent. But it was still bonkers. Like we kind of mentioned, it's almost got this Harry Potter level of there's a secret world that none of us know about that has to do with Portland chefs. You know, like it's just like
Hmm.
it's like Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere or something. It's like you go down, you go into the back of this hotel, and there's a hotel on top of a hotel, and down there is the seedy underworld of people who make food.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was really kind of lost at that point. I was not lost, but I was so confused. I was like, wait, what? Restaurant workers have a fight? Like, what is this? A fight club?
Hmm. That's very weird.
And it wasn't
It.
even like a normal fight club either. It was just like
Hmm.
a people getting beat up club.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird. It's like I need some extra money. I'm gonna go let a couple guys beat the crap out of me. You
Yeah.
know.
So before we dive into heavy spoiler on this movie, we'll hold that back because my opinion of this movie is like up to the spoiler point. I'm like, I love it. I think this is a great movie. And then spoiler point, I feel not so great. But uh it's just it's like it keeps you in the dark long enough to be like I said, I was so kind of not lost but like confused. And then once you're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, it's John Wick of the culinary world," and it has the I guess the three acts, whatever, separated into chapters with the like meal that's kind of
Oh yeah.
highlighted or kind of featured at each section, which is weird. Um, but yeah, I think it's pretty good. It was interesting. I was surprised. Like there is one of his biggest John Wick style takedowns is the one chef the first chef they go talk to in the restaurant where and I say John Wick style takedowns because he didn't kill him, but he assassinated him emotionally.
He
He just
just
like
does that too. He's
broke
like
this guy down.
he
Hmm.
I kept thinking that this was like this was like his phenomenon, you know,
Yeah.
that weird movie for John Travolta where it's
Hmm.
like makes you question what you're doing with your life and all this stuff because this bizarre thing happens. That's what this movie is, but a little bit mean.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like the characters. Even like early on, you're introduced to his character name is Amir. Here, I'm gonna stop sharing screen so I can use my other monitor and look at actor names.
He's he's the guy from he's the son from Hereditary.
Hereditary, yeah, yeah, he was in Hereditary. Alex Wolf, like his character shows up and he's like, oh, you know, city d bag,
Right.
kind of stereotypical. But then you end up like a big part of the plot revolves around essentially his family life, which
Hmm.
was
Yeah.
unexpected, and it's not even it's his family life is a important plot point, but it's not like
You almost see it coming, but you're not like totally sure either.
Hmm.
right. It's it's a little I don't know. It's I guess it works. It's just suspect that like oh this guy happens to be like super famous old chef and spoilers. Oh, and this guy's dad is like runs the town now.
Yeah, he's the Portland chef mob boss.
Yeah, he really is. There's some, and I'll say it now. There's some easy parallels with the the villains in this and the next movie too. But yeah, the character work was really good because you end up like, okay, you get this kid, you get the deal, and not that they end up like Nick Cage's character and him becoming like good friends, but you could definitely see at certain points like understanding between them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I guess, the main thing with this movie is the Fight Club stuff and all that aside. Like it's kind of a character piece wearing it's hard to say it's a thriller, but I guess like wearing a thriller plot at times.
So weird. Dude just walks into backyards and talks about persimmons. And persimmons oddly show up in the next movie. And was like, how did we not know this was the persimmon cinematic universe here?
Wow, I think you just gave it the title, the official title. I hadn't even made that connection. You're
Yeah,
right. Also, at first I was like, oh, he must know who lives there now. I don't think he does. He's a very beat up hobo looking dude who just wanders into some people's backyards and is talking to this small child. He's lucky he didn't get even more beat up or the cops called on him.
I kept waiting for that to happen, like the other shoe to drop on that. And it didn't. Spoilers.
Also, he stole someone's bicycle. He just screamed in their face and took the bicycle. I was like, that's not
That
nice.
was a very Nick Cage moment too. It was like, oh, there it is.
That's a good segue into the man in question, Nick Cage. What'd you guys think of Nick Cage in this?
He seemed actually subdued, really. He didn't, I mean, like, the bike scene happened, and he had a little bit of a Mandy moment, I guess, but not nearly as intense. So, most of the time he was just really calm and almost a little psycho seeming in how calm he was when people around him were like, you know, obviously very uncomfortable.
What's that term like when you don't like people? Misandry? Is that right? Not misogyny, but
like a misanthrope? Is that the
misanthrope?
word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's all he was. Is he literally didn't want to deal with anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Just that one guy, and just because he would bring him supplies every week.
And even him, I don't think he talked to him in the first scene at all.
No.
No, he didn't. He like intentionally didn't. He comes across as a jerk too, and you know, and Amir, the character of Amir, comes across as a, like I said earlier, a city d-bag. So jerks all around, but they kind of come to an understanding. Yeah, I thought Nick Cage was good in this. I almost was just like made an executive decision before I come across the next movie we're going to talk about, and was like, let's just do Willy's Wonderland. I can't take another heavy movie.
Oh man, no doubt.
Because this character is similar in that they're both quiet and apparently just secret tough guys or whatever. But it's interesting thinking about Willy's Wonderland because he does play like no dialogue in that movie, but he still comes across different. We still get a little bit of like not hammy, but not like serious Nick Cage in Willy's Wonderland. He's just doing his thing. In this, you get like he's quiet, but he's just emoting constantly. You know,
yeah.
He's good.
Well, there was camp in Willy's Wonderland,
right?
Maybe not hammy, but which is a fun pun with the pig theme. But okay.
Oh yeah.
But he is the least hammy I've seen Nick Cage in a while.
I feel like, and we've talked about this in the past, where he'll do different. In some movies, he'll do different. He'll act different from scene to scene, depending on what he feels the scene needs, which I don't know is necessarily the right way to go about it sometimes, because then you get character performances that seem like very all over the place. But once in a while, I feel like he is a good judge of like, oh, that's what this story is. This is what it needs. Mandy, he was, other than when he goes just bonkers, surprisingly subdued most of it. In this, this is more of like a, this is like adaptation Nick Cage, or like kind of older, like when he seemed to really nail or land a lot of dramatic roles. Like he understands that he just, the emotion he needs to put into it, and it's not a wild and crazy Nick Cage movie. So
Mhm.
Well, and like they set such a stage without even really telling us the full story of whatever it is that happened that caused him to be this hermit out in the woods.
right,
But like even his even his outbursts don't feel out of place the way that they can sometimes when
right,
Nick Cage likes to do an outburst. Sometimes he just likes to fly off the handle. And in this, even though he is literally flying off the handle, like he's kicking the Camaro, I don't feel it's unjustified in that moment.
I would have lost my cool many more times when he keeps his cool. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I thought he was really good in this. This is definitely good Nick Cage. Uh,
Mhm.
okay, well, then let's real quick, spoiler warning on Pig, and then we'll wrap up our Pig discussion and move on to the next one.
Okay.
Uh, I really liked the movie. I was enjoying it. And then we get the horribly depressing and very unsatisfactory, although not that we need to see it, revelation of what happened to the pig. And I was actually kind of mad. It really put me in like a bad mood.
Oh yeah.
It's just so like, so here's the spoiler, what happens with the pig. And if you're going to watch it, you shouldn't listen to the spoiler, but uh he tracks down like ultimately the guy who's responsible for taking the pig, and spoilers again, it's Amir's father. And when he finally gets him to admit what happened, he's just like, the pig's gone. The people that kidnapped him basically were too rough and it died, and that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Nicolas Cage breaks down, and like that's the revelation, and it's so unsatisfying and super depressing.
Right. Well, I feel like this whole film was about grief and
Oh yeah,
and not dealing with grief. Like
every
there's so many
character.
people in this. Yeah, they're just not dealing with grief at all.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Nick Cage's character with his, I'm assuming, wife or significant other or girlfriend or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
they
she
never
was.
even really said 100% what that was either. But
No, we only find her name out once towards the end, I think.
I was actually kind of thinking that that was kind of his superpower, is like he's like broken from grief, and he just breaks everybody else with it too, and
He
that's what he
knows how
does.
to needle the grief out
oh
of
my,
other people.
that meal
Yeah.
that he made, like he's like, what are we doing? We're getting my pig back, and he makes the meal, man. And I was just like, oh, it broke my heart. I was like, before the actual breakdown happens, I'm like, no, dude, that's brutal.
Mhm.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was clever in that way. And like, it's not, I guess, a weird concept, but it's taking the concept and then using it to emotionally manipulate these characters in the way that the plot needs. You know, it kind of works.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the ending, but I don't totally hate it either. It's just like you say, it's like it's not a happy ending in any way, shape, or form. But at the same time, it almost is. It's like it's the one time he actually like washes his face.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
like
so
he comes
filthy
out
the
the
whole
other
movie.
side a little bit.
Mhm.
I was like, wow.
Hey, Harlem Knight, what's going
Heyo.
on?
Hello.
Yeah, it's been a while since I noticed you pop up on the stream.
Sorry. But, I was kind of unhappy with the ending, mostly because I want to know. I just want some kind of indication, any kind, of what Amir's plans are with his life, because it seems like he's been trying so hard to get his dad to love him or pay attention to him, or approve of him. And at this point, he should just walk away from him and never. I feel like I want to know. I want to know. I just want to know what's going on there.
Yeah, we don't. there really isn't much in the way of resolution.
No, there's not.
Nick Cage's character, I guess, seems like he kind of comes to terms a little bit better
Mhm.
with the passing of his significant other, whoever she was.
Mhm.
But otherwise, like,
This doesn't end well for anyone else.
Darius, Adam Arkin, who is Amir's dad. Hey, Paul, what's going on? Thanks for jumping in. He's recording tonight, so he'll catch the replay.
Hi, Paul. Bye, Paul.
He definitely didn't seem like he properly came to terms, you know.
No.
Anyway, final thoughts and your star ratings. What do you give Pig, and why?
How many stars?
Out of 5.
Okay.
I want to give this like higher than I expected, you know, like, but I also don't want to overdo it. Like, I'm still pretty like emotionally raw from watching this movie, so like,
Right, and that should be like a good thing.
yeah.
And sometimes, and it is. It means the movie was super. Oh God, I hope we. You jumped
did we
right
just
in on
spoil
the
this?
spoiler section too. The movie's on his watch on Harlem Nights.
It's worth watching.
Excellent.
Hopefully we didn't just ruin it for you, but like it's worth a watch. That's what I would say is like I would recommend it to the right people for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you like drama,
Yeah.
Yep.
did you give it a star rating, Jesse?
I didn't. I guess I'm gonna say about 3.5 because I don't feel like it's worth a full 4 stars, but it's definitely better than just good.
Right.
You know, especially I don't know. It's a Nick Cage scale here, so like I know what bad Nick Cage looks like. I know what good Nick Cage looks like. So this is veering into the territory of really good Nick Cage.
Mm-hmm. What were you gonna say, Melanie?
No, I agree. 3.5 is what I would give it. It is really, I think it is really good, but it's really good in the way that like, I don't want to watch it again. Really, you know?
Right.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Like Schindler's List. Kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah, something like that. Right. It's a really good movie, but I enjoyed it the one time, and that's enough. So
I'm gonna give this Harlem Night. It had a great impact. That's for sure. I'm gonna give this 4 because I feel like before the end of the movie, I was all on board. I was like, yeah, this is definitely up there. Vampire's Kiss is good or bad Nick Cage?
It's got to be bad Nick Cage, right? I don't know. I guess good Nick Cage is subjective, isn't it?
Right.
Vampire's Kiss, we are going to do at some point on the show because I want to rewatch it. I watched it once when I was like a kid, and I want to see it. That might be good, bad. It's definitely over the top Nick Cage. I know that much. But I'm going to give this 4 stars out of 5 because I was totally on board before the end of the movie. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's interesting. It's kind of unique. It is John Wick, except instead of guns, they're slinging emotions, and that's amazing. And then the end, like, so soured me. I was so soured that I wanted to knock it down to like a 3.5 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to stick with 4 because it's not a bad ending. It's a good ending, and good on them for not copping out, not taking it easy. Like, whoa, well, it's all good, hunky-dory. Like, they kept it realistic-ish. So I'm going to stick with the 4 star.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harlem Night, I would get ready for this movie emotionally because I was not. Like, this is a Nick Cage movie about a pig. Like, how emotionally ready do I need to get? And then there were just a few where I was just like, oh, did not have myself ready for that. No.
You know, I had a pig when I was little. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, I did.
That would impact this viewing as well, I think.
Yeah.
I knew this. I had not heard spoilers, but I knew enough about the movie going in that I knew it was not going to be fun. To be honest, that was part of, like, Melanie's been on me to watch this for a while since we discovered it was on Hulu. No, you're good there. Don't worry about that, Harlem Night. I mean, as long as they're not ending with having breakfast with the pig on the plate, I'll be good.
Yeah, no.
I will say
It's a cute dang pig too. Like the pig was a great actor.
it starts with breakfast with the pig, but the pig's not on the plate. So
No. It's
that
eating
would have been
breakfast.
what a horrible way. They could have like really bookended this thing that way. That would have been just brutal. It's
Yeah.
not intentionally cruel, this movie.
That would have been an Okja move right there.
Yeah.
It's just mean in the way that life can be mean.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, I had been putting this off a little bit because I knew it was not going to be a fun watch. You know what I didn't know like anything about until I found it like yesterday, day before yesterday.
Oh God, this movie.
I come across because I was struggling to find what should we pair this with, because I think when we talked about this on a Grawlix Nights, Babe 2 came up, but Babe 2 is not easy. I mean, you can rent it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay money for it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I come across Jesse. You pronounced it pretty good. How did you pronounce this?
Okja.
Okja, and I think that's how they were saying it in the movie. Okja from 2017, which is a movie I was totally unfamiliar with. And here's what this movie is. Okja, directed and story by wow. Jong Bong Jovi. No.
That's a different movie.
Directed and story by Bong Joon-ho. Screenplay by Bong Joon-ho and John Ronson, which also sounds like a name that's wrong. It should be Ron Johnson, not John Ronson, but that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Starring... Hold on. I'm going to throw it out to one of you two. I'm going to put this in our personal... here. I hate butchering foreign names. I feel so bad doing it. Here in the private chat, how do you guys say that? That's the little girl.
Where?
It looks like Ann Seo Hun.
On Sia Hyun.
Yes.
Yes, that sounds good.
Tilda Swinton, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Stephen Yeun, which and several other.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Glenn.
people in here. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
I know that guy. I know that guy. I know that guy.
But you say Tilda Swinton and Jake Gyllenhaal, and I'm like, it's weird. It's a weird movie.
Oh yeah,
Gotta be weird.
and they are at their weirdest.
Does
too.
Tilda
Yeah, they
Swinton
are.
just have it like in her Tilda Swinton have it in her contract that she has to play more than one character? Like
I don't know. I don't know. I just
it's
thought you were gonna.
always-
You spun it on me. I thought you were just gonna say that it has to be weird. It's like I don't think she signs up for anything that's not a little off. You know.
Right.
Right. Overview: a young girl named Mija, whatever. A little girl risks every. I hate coming across as like stupid.
I think it's
American.
Mija, like Mija, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I just watched this movie. I did, but I'm already forgetting how to pronounce the names. Yeah.
A young girl risks everything to prevent a powerful multinational company from kidnapping her best friend, a massive animal named Okja.
Mm-hmm.
So, I come across that and I was like, well, it's like the same story. It's practically the same, only it looks more whimsical.
Yeah.
And is there a good picture of what this creature looks like? Because it's CGI creature. It's not an
man.
actual creature.
It looks like a hippo.
It does.
looks
The whole
like-
time I kept thinking like they're gonna. That's the other shoe. They're gonna tell us it's just a hippo.
It looks like a hippo dog pig.
Right.
More hippo dog than pig. I guess the body looks pig-like. Oh, she was in The Host? Yeah, The Host was another Bon Jovi. I'm not making for the name, I'm making for how I butchered it. Bon Bong Joon-ho movie, The Host. That's the first one of his movies that I think I'd seen. That might have been one of his first kind of movies to break out over here. That was forever ago. He also directed Parasite. What is it? I'm losing track. Is that movie called Mother, or is it? Yeah, just Mother.
Mhm.
Not the recent Mother American. That's not recent. That came out years ago, I guess. Oh, also Snowpiercer, the movie Snowpiercer.
Uh-huh.
And Parasite. His movies. What?
Snowpiercer is a sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
We know. We all know. We know. And if you don't know, look it up on YouTube. It's a compelling argument. It is. Okay, before I get too off track, and wow, what do you guys think?
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I lost it. This has lost me.
You told me about the show, Happy and Whimsical. Then you told me this who directed it, and I was like, nothing this guy does is happy. Okay, so I don't know.
Right.
now I
Well,
know.
so we looked up a trailer, and the song, which is not in the movie anywhere, I don't think, but the song in the trailer is how they'll take it seems right now like 90s rock or alternative or whatever 90s songs, and then do it like a choir version or something like that, or slow it down or whatever. And they did what sounded like, the trailer was set to what sounded like an upbeat choir version of Hey Pig of Piggy by Nine Inch Nails. Not Hey Pig, Piggy. And I was like, what? That doesn't work. That's not even like, you're taking the lyrics at such face value. But then you watch the movie, it's like, oh, okay, maybe the movie is actually more in line with the tone of that song. I was looking, that's what I was doing. I was looking for a picture of this thing so you all could see this magical creature. No, I don't want the actual link. I want the picture. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
And it's like a hippo pig dog.
Big old floppy ears.
It's interesting because the opening establishes that it's definitely intelligent.
Yeah.
In almost like cartoony ways. Like at one point it like, flops back on its butt and sits there, and she hugs it and it hugs her back, and it's very almost cartoony.
How about that time it saved her life?
It saves her life.
Yeah.
by taking hold of a rope. Like, this thing is smart.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo level smart.
Okay. Man, the intro to this really threw me off my game all of a sudden. I'm getting back on track. So you guys talked about what you knew about it beforehand. What did you think?
Which is nothing. Yeah. Nothing.
What did you think? Whoever wants to go first. I'll go first then. I like this a lot. Again, I'm going to hold back spoilers. But I like this quite a bit. I find tonally it's really weird, but I don't know if it's a Bong Joon-ho thing or if that's like Korean thing, like South Korean. I think that's more common in like Eastern countries. The tonal shifts, like we're not used to it over here, so it seems weird. But this movie will go from like cartoony, over the top. Jake Gyllenhaal's character is like, he plays it so weirdly over the top.
Oh man. Yeah.
Most of the characters are played very over the top, and it'll bounce between that and like horrifyingly depressing and dark.
Yeah.
If there is a Nick Cage analog in this movie, it's got to be Gyllenhaal, right?
Oh my God! Imagine if that would have been Cage. He could have played that role.
Oh, he could have. Yeah.
I think he's like a con for a lot of people. I think he like is kind of a low point in this movie for some people, from the very few things I've seen about it since I've watched it.
Hmm.
I didn't hate it. I mean, he's ridiculous, and I feel like he's definitely amped up more than anybody else in the cast.
Uh-huh.
Right.
But he's supposed to be.
Yeah, he's the like ridiculous over the top TV personality in the movie. So I found him enjoyable.
I'm thinking about it. I think it would be like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, though. I think Nick Cage would have made it too dark if he had been in it.
Right. So yeah, Pig was going to be a comedy until they cast him. No, that's not true.
No.
That's not true.
No.
Oh man, his character. Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's character. Actually, if you think about it, if he wouldn't have played it so over the, like, it was kind of a dark character anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about his character, like, he was supposed to be an animal lover. I'm assuming was at some point, and then like what he becomes in this movie.
Yeah.
He's a dark character.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oof.
And his like over the top portrayal kind of distracts from that. Because he's.
But
a
it also
cartoon.
needs to be distracted from that because it is dark.
Yeah.
Like the scene he's in. Whoa. I mean, he's in a lot of scenes, but like the scene, I was like, whoa.
But yeah. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna throw it to you guys.
Wait. Did you give it stars?
No,
Or
not
did you do
yet.
that? Okay.
We're not there
sorry.
yet. It's okay. The structure got a little weird on this one. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I thought it was good. It was okay. Again, I mean, I might actually rewatch this one, but only because I'm gonna force other people to watch it, not because I really want to. But I think it has, it hits on some important, politics, maybe, I guess.
Oh, it's
They-
definitely got a heavy satire
yeah.
and commentary to it for sure.
Right. So I think that would be a worthwhile thing to spread, But even if I didn't know who the guy was that directed this and had that kind of color my opinion of it, from like the day the people showed up in her little mountain village, I was like, everybody in this movie sucks. Every adult in this movie blows, and that poor little girl, and having to live in this world. So, I mean, it was okay, but I didn't like anybody except her. And even her, I was like, she's kind of a pain in the butt, but still.
Well, she's not given. She's pretty much just has like one setting.
Yeah.
And that's angry. Where's Okja? Okja.
Yeah. She's like an unpleasant Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, I couldn't unsee that either. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, no, you're right. Like, there's maybe only one other character that's not kind of a total dirtbag, and he's a little debatable, and that's the leader of the Alf guy, of the Alf group, or whatever, the Animal Liberation, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. And I think he's a little too friendly with a little young girl, so I don't like him either.
Okay.
He was weird and style. Everybody was weird and stylized in this movie, and so it's like this guy's coming in looking like an apathetic James Bond, but still smooth like one. It was just like, what is this guy's deal?
Right. Glenn, I will forever call him Glenn from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Is thoroughly likable until you're like, oh wait, no, he's a huge d-bag.
He's awful. Yeah.
Actually,
Even the grandpa. He's
the
like
grandpa.
kindly old grandpa.
the
Just lies. Just lies.
He's like the first one that you're like, oh, F this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted her to punch him in the face.
Yeah. Clock him with that gold pig.
Yeah.
Just the way he handled that. I mean, he was lying to her, obviously, but then just like so dismissive.
Yeah.
And like,
I don't want you to hang out with a pig all day.
right.
Just like totally undercut her feelings about it at all. After having lied to her for who knows how long about, oh yeah, we bought him. We bought an Okja. It's cool.
There's a lot of fun. There is fun though. And that was, I mean, like the pig journey the journey in Pig was not necessarily fun. It was interesting, but in my intro I mentioned, the journey is gonna be fun. There's a lot of fun. There's like Melanie set me up. She's like, she knew this was going to be depressing, and I was like, it might not be that bad. You're like, it's the Parasite guy, she says, and I was like, oh yeah, it's probably going to be depressing. So I felt dread. This might be worth a rewatch, knowing where it goes, but still be able to enjoy some of the journey more, knowing that it doesn't get truly awful till towards the end. Because like there's that whole sequence where she goes that the whole sequence where she goes to that building and breaks the glass wall, and
Oh man, yeah.
she does more. Like I expected Nick Cage and Pig to start causing carnage that he doesn't really, emotional carnage maybe. She goes and she messes this building up as just a little girl, and like
Right.
creates there's this huge like freeway scene. It's crazy
She
action.
does some Jackie Chan stuff.
Man, she should probably be dead. She
Oh,
fell
yeah.
off the back of
Oh,
that
no
truck.
my
kidding,
God,
yeah.
Melanie gasped when she fell off the back of that truck, and it's appropriate because there were cars behind. She should be dead.
Yeah.
Right.
And they weren't going slow.
No. Pretty good effects too. Okja is a CG creature, and it wasn't flawless all the time, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And some of those, especially some of those like action sequences with involving this mutant piglet. Yeah.
I specifically remember a scene with Jake Gyllenhaal where he's like running his hand along her side, and I'm like, I mean, I know that that's not real, but it was a very good shot, I thought.
That first scene where he meets Okja for the first time, he's like, "Film this! I can't fake emotions like this."
Yeah.
Right.
When it
I
was
kept
fun.
to what Melanie was saying. I kept thinking of Corridor Digital Corridor crew guys talking about contact shadows. Shadows. It's weird because tonally at points it feels like this could be a kids movie, or at least family friendly.
Oh yeah.
Until like the white people show up on the mountain and they're dropping F-bombs constantly. I'm like, oh no, this is not that.
Right. When it starts with this weird corporate, like, so what my brain keeps going to is this, it's not the same, but like is the closest thing I can come up with. It's got a weird vibe like Sorry to Bother You. Like that movie. The way
Right.
that it's got like a bunch of social like issues that it's dealing with, right? And yet it deals with them in a satire / kind of edgy way, like it's funny, but it's got a bite to it. Like there's some legit problems with the whole reason we're having a movie about this.
Like almost with an irreverent attitude,
Yeah.
which is kind of counter to a movie with a message. It's not subtle with its messages either.
Right.
Yeah.
In this movie, there's no, like one of the reasons I had to watch these back to back is that there's no way that I could watch these with Holly. Like I would be interested in watching this with other people just to see how they react to some of the bizarre stuff that's in it. So I'm with Melanie in that, like, I might rewatch this just to see other people's reactions, but like no way was Holly going to be one of those people. No.
I actually ran through because I knew. I was like, what? Holly wouldn't love the animal nabbing
Right.
double feature because she has a lot of problems with like animal violence in movies and stuff like that.
Well, and pigs in particular, like pigs
Oh.
are legit the reason that she was vegetarian as long as she was.
Interesting.
So this would have been like the absolute worst.
Well, I was thinking about Pig, and I was like, it's dark, but I mean, other than the kidnapping scene itself, there's not like there's not depicted violence to animals. And then we watched this one. I was like, no, Holly could not handle that ending. That would have been. It's like, it's real harsh. It's real bad. I mean, given they're CG creatures that don't actually exist. That
Are we going spoileries on this yet?
let's go spoileries.
Okay. Yeah,
That
because
slaughterhouse scene.
dude, he they okay. They were when they were like walking out. It
Ooh.
looked just like a scene from a concentration camp to me. I'm
I
sure
think
they
that
did
was
that
intentional too.
intentionally.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so sad.
Yeah, they definitely intentionally they that was definitely modeled after that. I was thinking
Hmm.
that too, just the way with it's electrified fencing instead of like barbed wire fencing, but just the way they have that fencing set up and the
Yeah.
long walk down the middle of it,
Hmm.
and there's the slaughterhouse. Yeah, I don't think that imagery was accidental.
Uh-huh. My one big fight with this movie, you can't have some have a scene of this animal going into the chute like they step up into it, they're the next one in there, and then have her run around the building for 3 minutes, get inside, and it's whichever one is the next one in is done. That that was like 14 animals ago that he would have been gone. You know what I mean?
I think that it was intentional
I know, but it's
bending bending of time and space and on the filmmaker's behalf to make you feel like it's too late already.
Right.
And
well, that's horrible though because I get way too attached
I mean that was the
to.
point. They wanted they wanted you to be attached and they wanted you to think it was dead or it's going to be dead or look at that one, boom, let's kill that one right in front of you. Was that Okja? And spoilers, Okja survives this one. I thought I thought I was like I thought for sure we weren't going to get any kind of, and it still doesn't feel like a happy ending, but
Right.
it's better than nothing. And I didn't think we were going to get anything
Yeah,
other
but
than
like
watching Okja die in front of our face.
like
I,
we get sort of a happy ending, but it's also at the backdrop of all this awfulness. So it doesn't really feel like a win, even though in the end the little girl got what she wanted, which was just to have her pig friend there. But she gets to see this whole wider, awful world. They even saved another one of them, but like
Mhm.
you get to
Well,
walk by fields of these animals that are just getting slaughtered.
yeah,
I
it's
thought
still,
the end made it worse though because is it unless I'm mistaken, it was talking to her, which means these are intelligent creatures that have the ability to communicate with us. If that's the case, that makes all of it that much more horrible.
no, yeah. No, it was talking to her at the very end.
Yeah.
I, well, and even before that, they had established that towards the beginning, she talks to Okja,
Uh-huh.
and it intentionally, it distinctly, other than, like, Okja realizing like, oh, I need to save this girl, and I'll do it this way. Fulcrum and lever kind of like logic
Oh yeah, it
comprehension.
did a pulley thing. Yeah,
Yeah, and but she spoke to Okja in its ear earlier, and this is the shot is in the trailer, and you could see in the eye like, oh yeah, comprehending, understanding. But yeah, at the very end, Okja talks in her ear, and we don't hear what she says, but even before that, like the two parent piglet things letting the baby out in the slaughterhouse, like holding up the thing and like giving them the baby with the understanding
yeah.
like you got out, take our child with you, like it clearly intelligent creatures,
Right.
which I think really added to the
Mm-hmm. I
concentration camp type
I
parallels, I guess.
I feel like we have animals that are super intelligent, like cephalopods, crazy intelligent. People still eat them. They farm them even, or they're starting to, which I think is horribly wrong. It should be illegal. Um, they can't talk to us though, so that people ignore it. In that, and in a situation like that, if they could talk, I think it would make a much bigger deal. They should all have been talking. Darn it.
Well, this has the kind of, again, it's not as depressing as it could be, but it's still like the bad. It's a kind of a '90s thing
Yeah, a
in a
little
way where
bit.
it's like the bad guy is industry,
Yeah, it's like hackers a little bit.
right? The bad guy is big industry, which is not a '90s issue. Definitely, it's
Right.
more. It's an always issue, and more so now since like everything's mega corporations. But the bad guy is industry, and they can't lose. You can't
Yeah.
win. The best you could do is pay them a bunch of money and maybe get friend pig back.
Mhm.
We're gonna kill that whole field of pigs, though. Like that's the movie.
Yeah. And even when you screw up, one of your siblings will take over, or you'll whatever. Yeah. Uh, maybe they're setting up for Planet of the Pigs. You think?
Maybe.
Pigs are so smart too. Like I think
They
that's the
are.
main reason that Holly was so traumatized by a book that she read, was that, like, the fact that they're so intelligent and they have this, it's like an awareness, and that's why they fight it so tooth and nail when they're about to be slaughtered. It's like they feel the pain, and it's brutal.
Uh, if this movie had ended in the worst possible way, I'd have been real on the fence about if we were going to do this episode. I was getting super irritated when I thought like this was going to go a certain way. I was like, between this and Pig,
Oh,
F
yeah.
these movies. I don't want to do this anymore.
Right, yeah.
And
Oh man, to talk about them, oof.
You did them back to back in one day.
I did,
Oh,
God. Because it just worked out that Holly was actually around. I was like, there's no way I'm watching these movies with Holly around.
Yeah,
Because of her history with specifically pigs.
Okay. What'd you guys think? Let's do star ratings.
I don't know. I mean, like, they're both really good movies. I'll just say that. Like, they're both really good movies. And so, but they're both different kinds of movies. So I think I'm going to cop out and go 3.5 again, because it's like, it's a good movie, but I can't say that it's better than, I can't say that it's better than Pig, but it's a different kind of good. So I can't say that it's that much worse than Pig either.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm gonna cop out and go 3.5 again.
Okay.
I think I might actually go 3. I'll go down a little, but not because I necessarily think it's a worse movie. I don't. I just think that I know for the majority of the people that I know in my life, because they're not all as cool as us, they wouldn't sit through it they would get bored or uncomfortable with it long before you got to the
Right.
the point. And so if I could force them to, which I probably will force some people to watch it, but they'll have to be at least partially on board. You know, that's the only reason I don't. It's not if overall as great as of a movie just because of the watchability for the audience in general. That's what I'm gauging it on.
Well, you should gauge it on what like. You shouldn't really be concerned about how other people would react to it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well, whatever. You know what? No, rate it by whatever criteria you use. What did you say? How many stars?
I said 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually on Letterboxd. I gave this 4.5. I'm gonna knock it down to 4. 4.5 felt like it didn't. I felt like it was comparable. It's different. It is a different movie than Pig, but I was like, in terms of like quality and kind of enjoyment, is comparable. I think I had more fun with it, and it didn't make me feel as horrible. So I'm going higher than Pig. I'm going 4.5, but in retrospect, 4.5 might be a little high. I didn't hate Jake Gyllenhaal in it. In fact, like I said, I was entertained, but like he's so over the top. And then there's a couple characters that are just like Tilda Swinton. She's okay, like she's Tilda Swinton, but like there's some things that maybe it's not a 4.5. So I'm gonna come down a little bit and go 4 stars on it, which is still very high, of course. So did we both? Melanie, what did you give Pig? Was that a 3 or 3.5?
3.5.
Okay, so we're pretty close to the same ratings
Mm-hmm.
for both movies.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. I feel like, sorry,
No?
Tilda Swinton and and Jake Gyllenhaal yeah.
You probably say it right. I
feel
probably say it
like-
wrong. I just assume I say all names wrong. It's fine.
I feel like they're So they're kind of pretentious people, and when they do this kind of a movie, it's it's much more fake than I don't know. Maybe that's why feel like I have to rate it lower.
It is interesting that compared to everybody else, though, those two who of the cast have probably gotten the most accolades
Mm-hmm.
are the most over the top portrayals.
Right.
That's interesting. And maybe it's a case of like the I don't know what that is. Overconfidence in their skills, or maybe that's what the director wanted and they better understood that than some of the other cast. I don't know. But they are the most over the top, and I can't think of anybody else in the movie who probably had the same type of Oscar buzz for previous movies than those two. So
Mm-hmm.
it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting observation. Oh, I don't have the music ready. I forgot about the pitch music. Like I always have the little segue.
Yeah.
Whatever, future episodes.
So Randy, so Melanie, there's studio execs out there, and they know that animals are cute. Animals are important to a lot of people. There's a booming pet industry out there, and you know what they want to do? They want to hop on that gravy train. They want to get that cheddar. They want to get truffle hunting pig cheddar. That's what they want.
Oh,
Yeah, and so they also saw the unbearable weight of massive talent, or whatever that movie's called, and so they know that Nick Cage is on the upswing. So they want a Nick Cage pig napping cinematic universe.
yes. From the fine dining of Portland to the mass production supermarkets. You're right, Jesse. I think they do want that. So how would you guys combine pig and Okja? Hot dog?
They want to make it. They want to make the bacon. That's what they want to make.
Yeah. Nick Cage. Wait, what is this cinematic universe here? Nick Cage,
Pig
North Korean.
napping.
No, wait,
pig
that's a
napping.
C.
It's pig napping. That's
Oh,
what
you're
it
right.
is. It's Nick Cage pig napping. Cinematic universe is greater than the MCU. Get ready. Get ready.
Thanks, Harlem Night. I agree. Okay, who wants to go first? And how we're gonna do? I guess this is a competition. It's not necessarily a competition. We're gonna have 3 pitches. Each of us is gonna pitch our version of a cinematic universe, and you, listener, can decide, I guess, which one you'd put your hard-earned money down for a ticket to, or multiple tickets because it's cinematic universe and a new Nick Cage pig napping streaming plus service.
So mine is like actually like continues into 2 movies kind of thing.
Okay,
Like
okay.
it's kind of more than one pitch, and it's got a visual aid, which I'm gonna need to send to you here in the. I'm gonna send it to you in Messenger. Okay, so I can either go
All right.
now, or I can wait. Whatever you think.
Oh my god.
So you've got a spoiler staring right back at you now.
Let me. I'm gonna enlarge that a little bit. Let me full screen that over on this side.
Okay, don't put it up yet, though.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
tell you when to put it up.
Okay, I'm ready. Go for it.
Oh, you ready? Okay, so I guess I'm doing mine. I'm doing my pitch. Okay, so, like I said, it's a movie. So we're talking like an Endgame kind of thing. We're going Infinity War into Endgame, right? So this is obviously a 2-parter, or maybe not so obvious, but when you get to the ending, you know it's a 2-parter, right? And so the name of the movie is ALF, but it stands for Animal Liberation Feld, because it's Robin Feld.
Okay.
So it's ALF. Okay, so that's
Nick
the name
Cage's
of the movie.
character. Nick
So I'm
Cage's
just setting.
character.
Yeah, I'm setting you up.
All right.
Okay, so The oddly likable and strangely Teflon Animal Liberation Front is called to Portland after hearing about an oddly local but very political truffle pig napping and murder. When it hits their radar, they're headed to Portland, baby. They're on the plane. When they get there on the surface, this just feels like an open and shut case. But through their investigations, they uncover a seedy underground network of cheffery that funnels and launders money through an underground fight club underneath of in a hotel that's under a hotel. Yeah, and you guessed it, they're funneling that money and they're laundering that money for the Mirando Corporation. Uh-oh, we're back at that again. The seedy underground network of Portland chef scene needs to be taken down a peg, but only one man can get the ALF into Hotel Portland, and that's Robin effing Feld. That's who. That guy who lives in a cabin. and he may seem to have moved on from the death of his truffle pig, but when he learns how his pig had ties to Mirando, he's ready to barely talk, but to definitely help the ALF. And he might even help them with their individual existential quandaries along the way, or at least teach them how to make a decent persimmon pie. But the closer they get to exposing the Mirando Corporation, the deeper this rabbit hole goes. And at the end of the movie, our unlikely group of heroes come face to face with the face of Mirando itself, Tilda Swinton. Except we find out that Mirando, this is the end of this movie and going to set up the next movie. We find out that Mirando has moved on from Super Pigs. They were actually using their Super Pig GMO technology as a pilot project to fund the Mirando project. That's right. They're not just facing Nancy Mirando or Lucy Mirando, who are twins, BT dubs. They're facing an army of Tilda Swintons to be continued in Nick Cage in the Mirandaverse of madness. Cue that image, yeah.
The Mirandaverse of madness.
Yeah.
Sorry, I jumped the gun on the image a little bit.
No, you're good. You're good. All the Tilda Swintons.
It's the
Holy
ultimate
moly.
Tilda Swinton movie.
Whoa.
It's just all Tilda Swinton all the time.
What is Nick Cage gonna do? I don't know. That's a lot of face. I feel like this is almost a face-off type of sequel right here with all those faces.
So much overbite going on.
Even after the braces that she wears for the opening scene.
This is really nice. Yeah, I like this. You even got their logo on there.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I like it. My pitch is similar, but the opposite, kind of.
Okay.
If you're ready.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Was that the culmination of your?
That's it. Yeah. So to be continued in.
Yeah, leave them
the Mirandaverse.
Leave them on a cliffhanger. I think that's a good setup.
Oh my goodness, who knew that super pigs would lead to cloning? That's the next obvious step, really, isn't it?
Okay, go for it, Melanie. If you're ready.
So mine is that the story of Robin Feld and his love for his pig spread far and wide in the world of underground fighting chefs. And it was so moving that they decided that they had to come together to honor that pig the only way that they know how, by making something really tasty. So they sought out resources and funding to achieve this goal, and they found Mirando Corporation, who helped them to create the most delicious compliment ever, the Super Pig. There you go.
There you go.
So we're going to honor this pig by cooking up some pork chops.
Yep. But
with
that
a
makes
side
me-
of truffle.
Well, I mean, they're chefs. What are they supposed to do? That's what
I
they
know.
know how to do is make something yummy.
I was thinking about that myself. Yeah. Okay. Here's my pitch. I need to get names here so I can. So we're gonna open, and we're gonna follow Nicolas Cage's character Robin Feld. We're gonna open kind of like Pig. We got to put you in that right mindset. You know, he doesn't have the pig there, so it's just him. We're gonna follow him for a little bit. He's searching up from some truffles and stuff, and once in a while, Amir comes out every Thursday still to get truffles because the pig wasn't the one really finding the truffles. It's all pretty normal until one Thursday rolls around and Amir doesn't show up. And then another Thursday rolls around, no Amir. And so Robin Feld's like a little concerned. I mean, he still doesn't have a phone. They're not ringing each other up and twirling the invisible phone cord while they talk about their days. But they are kind of friendly now. So the fact that he just disappeared, that's pretty weird. So Robin Feld is going to go investigate, and he goes to Portland and he finds out that Darius basically shut down Amir's business to force Amir to work for him, and Darius is like, I'm branching out. No more of this like small time Portland.
Small town Portland.
Small town Portland. No more of this small time Portland, a couple restaurants here and there. He's going to team up with the Mirando Corporation and get his name in this culinary flavors out to the supermarkets, mass produced, and he's going to, basically just like force Amir into working for him because that's kind of what seemed like was going to happen anyway. Well, Nick Cage knows that's not Amir's wishes. He doesn't like that. So he's going to track him down. Hold on, I need to refocus. Where was I? Where did they go from there? Darius he's also like, he discovered the Mirando Corporation he knew they were around, but this televised super pig, even though it was a fiasco, that still caught his eye. Special, not genetically mutated, I guess, genetically engineered pigs. Like, he's got to secure that for his new brand. So that's why he teamed up with Mirando Corporation. And that one pig. He's got his eye on that one pig. So he's going to go try to take the little girl's pig again for some reason. For some reason. Because that's what this guy does. He doesn't need a pig. He just can't help but kidnap a pig from people. Like, he doesn't need that pig. Why does he kidnap that pig?
It's like an oddly specific klepto.
I feel like they didn't really get into it, but I kind of feel like he kidnapped that pig to screw over his son, I think.
Yeah.
Because that's where his son was actually succeeding.
Yeah. That's totally why he did it.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, he just doesn't like people having nice things, I guess.
Nice pigs in particular.
Plot, yes. Nick Cage ends up teaming up with a little girl. They're both not really going to... Fortunately, like, translation doesn't matter. Nick Cage isn't going to talk much, but he's going to tell her
some things, right?
But you know what? He's going to tell her all about persimmon trees, and that works out perfectly because she knows all about persimmon trees, and that's where they'll bond. Yeah. They'll have a connection there.
They know when they're ripe.
I'll get you and your little pig too. Yeah. Listen, we're gonna put Bong Joon-ho and the director of Pig, Michael Ceranosky. They're gonna team up for the screenplay, and the people that wrote the screenplays with them. The story will be good. Okay, we'll iron it out. I'm pitching to an executive. I'm not the writer. All right. Yeah. So, but what kind of movie is this though? This is finally, after 2 movies of could have been a revenge story, not a revenge story. We're going to get a revenge story. Ooh. They're going after Mirando and the Darius restaurant company, whatever the name of his place was. And it's going to be revenge movie styled where they've got to work up the ladder. They're going to take down Los Pollos brothers, and they're going to Los Pollos Hermanos. They're gonna take down that place because that's what Fring runs.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, Breaking Bad universe, and then they got to work their way up. Maybe Alf will be involved, and
The
sure,
Malmachian?
we gotta have the Alf in there, not the alien. The,
No, not the alien. Okay.
the organization, even though they're kind of bumbling. And they're going to work their way up. And Nick Cage, once again, is going to be assassinating people with emotions. He's going to be just deconstructing them as they go. There'll be lots of adventurous scenes where occasionally they Okja's running around and knocking over shoppers.
Taking naps.
Glenn's going to be there because he had to change a heart, and he realizes now something that Bong Joon-ho has always known is that translations are sacred. That is definitely a jab. And so Nick Cage will get up to Darius. Nick Cage will properly and finally break him down with emotions, make him see the errors of his ways. But now they have to deal with Nancy Mirando. Was that their actual last name? Mirando.
Yeah,
Nancy
Miranda was their
the
name.
sister that took over.
Lucy and Nancy. Nancy was the secret sister.
So Nick Cage is going to try to take her down too. She's practically inhuman. It doesn't work.
Right.
Oh yeah.
He can't chef whisper in her ear. So they got Okja is going to pig whisper in her ear. We are not going to know what Okja says to her. It's artsy. We're not going to know. But it will cause, and it's probably something to do with daddy issues because that came up a lot. She's just going to have a total breakdown. And then it's going to be like an 80s comedy movie where they're addressing a subject that is way too serious for an 80s comedy movie. We're going to get slapstick style mass mutant pig breakout from their concentration camp. It's going to be slapstick, but they'll all get away, so it's fine.
It's going to be like Gremlins 2 at the end.
Yes. And Mirando and Darius corporations crumble.
I like
The
it.
end.
Well, can Nick Cage take one of the baby pigs to be his new pig too?
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Put a bow on that. That'll do,
Yes.
pig.
I love it.
That'll do.
He might have to relocate because he's become fond of the baby pig that the little girl now has. He might have to relocate to a cabin next to their cabin in the woods because all the good people live in cabins in the woods.
I feel like that would be much more remote, and he would love it.
Oh, yeah. He's like, wait, this is way farther away.
Yeah. You have to climb a mountain and swear when you get to the top. In.
Also, Amir's... Okja's going to take a crap on Amir's Camaro or whatever it was.
Yes.
That's for
please.
comedy.
Yeah.
Like, my Camaro!
Not the Camaro.
It's going to one of those machine gun
Yeah.
craps.
And it'll be because of like classical music.
Now that you mention that,
Classical music will be the thing.
Yep.
the machine gun thing you mentioned, is that like the only way that animal poops? Like you have to pat its butt to get it to go? Because it
Seemed like it,
weird.
right? Because she
Yeah.
was just like almost annoyed, like, again?
That'd be
I
awful
guess
and
so.
inconvenient. As an animal.
Yeah, I feel like those animals would not fare well without
No.
they wouldn't fare well on their own in the wild. It's got to be little girls too. They need little girls to raise them.
This is like, pat, pat, pat.
Yep.
It's okay. It's like a shy bladder kind of situation.
So there we go. There's our pitches. You decide. I think we can make them all work, honestly.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but yours is the best, in my opinion. Sorry.
Is it? Oh, I'll accept
Well,
that.
It's got that, you know.
Yours has the most nuance for sure. Like
I feel like we
yours
incorporate-
intertwines them the best.
Well, that's what I do. I try to find the similarities. I was like, how can I like tie this together somehow? And I'm just gonna ramble through the little connective bits.
And I like to take the weird, obscure side thing and blow it up into a full-blown thing. So the ALF have to be the star of the show, even though they were just like a side nuisance in the
No,
film.
I like that because we can combine our universes. That'll be a spinoff, and the Lucy Nancy Miranda clones. That's going to be hinted at in my movie, and then we'll let that spin off to
There
the
you go.
larger thing.
It's like, yeah. Like,
Say, I'm somewhere around like maybe a Captain America, Winter Soldier, or something like that, and you're in the end game. So
wait, so like in yours is like Tilda Swinton just always seems to be there. How is that even possible? How is
Right.
she here and here? What? Well, there's
Right.
twins. Is that all though?
see, 10
Just
years
twins.
ago, they cloned Tilda Swinton and sent a different Tilda Swinton to each country.
Yes.
That's why there's so many Tilda Swintons in every movie, because you can't just buy one. It's a package deal. Harlem Knight says he'll fund it.
Perfect. We
Good.
got it. This is happening, right?
Yep. Oh man, cinematic universes. Yeah, they're fun. That's fun. I'm glad to be doing another cinematic universe. We're not going to do a cinematic universe every week because cramming in 2 movies every week on top of the other stuff we have to do is probably a bit much. 2 weeks, once a month might not be. I feel like it's summertime. I should capitalize on having a little extra, possibly free Jesse time
Right.
to cram a few of these.
I
in.
was able to watch 2 movies in one day. That's not going to happen during a school year.
Right. Well, we'll see what happens. We're not sure what's going to happen next week. Probably not a GCU. Maybe we'll aim for one after that. I will put a post in our Facebook group, facebook.com/Grolix. Wait, facebook.com/group/Grolix podcast.
That sounds right.
Maybe if Twitter still has polls too, I'll throw a poll up on Twitter. We'll see. But I want you, this listener and viewer, listener, I want you to pick the next Nick Cage movie from a list that we're gonna pick because we need to. We're gonna.
We don't want to pay more money for the movie we're going to watch.
Right, and I kind of want to like whittle it down to a less depressing Nick Cage pick because there are other depressing Cage movies out there.
Right.
So let's try to bounce back and forth between them. We're
Not
gonna go
leaving
for
Las
something-
Vegas.
No,
Let's not back this one with leaving Las Vegas, please.
we're looking at something maybe like a little Con Air or like Jujitsu, whatever a recent one that looks just goofy. Like I'll put together a list because I still have the list of the ones that are easily available on streaming services. So I'll throw that out as a poll. You guys can pick it, and then in the comments on that, let us know suggestions for pairing them up. So
Is Raising Arizona easy to watch?
no, but we have to do it. Same with Vampire's Kiss. Vampire's Kiss is also not like streaming on one of the services, so it's so we'd have to pay for it. But we got to do Vampire's Kiss as well. Raising Arizona and Vampire's Kiss are musts, and those are, I think, the 2 off the top of my head I can think of that aren't just like on Netflix or something.
So The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is available on digital, but like it's not available anywhere yet, just as part of the service.
Right.
So
right.
eventually
So
we're
that's
gonna have to
another
pull
one.
that Band-Aid off too.
Oh, we got to. That's kind of. It's not the reason, but it's kind of the reason. I think that kept pushing us towards more Cage stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the reason we're doing a Cage season. Well, thanks everybody. Hey,
Yeah.
you two.
Yeah.
You got. Wait, are we? We're not doing Amazed, right?
I didn't think so, but I
Okay.
can. But
No, it's cool.
okay, don't be amazed. Not
Our
today.
our cinematic universes should amaze you enough and
Right.
astonish you. Okay, well in that case, Jesse, where can people hear more of you, find you, see you, read things? What do they do?
Since we got Harlem Night in the old chats, you can find me on TikTok at Nerd Sounds. That sounds familiar. Wonder where we've
Sounds.
referenced that
What's
before.
that? seems like a dream.
Yeah,
A
like a
half-remembered
multiverse.
dream.
Man, like part of the multiverse or something. I don't know.
Right.
Weird.
Right.
So yeah, you can find me over there. TikTok. I've been a little more active because it's summer and I can be. Who knows how long I'll be able to keep that up? But yeah. that's probably the best place to find me. That's where I'm the most active.
Nice. Melanie, you got anything you want to mention?
Nope.
Okay. I want to mention, in addition to the usual Grawlix podcast stuff, again, I have new music coming out this month. I hope. I'm really trying to. I have a new music video coming out for sure. The album should also be coming out this month. I kind of want them to coincide. The music video is taking a bit longer than I expected, but it's a bit more involved. But I should have some new stuff under the artist title of Super Science. You can find me on YouTube. Actually, just go to superscience.xyz, and that's my website. It's got links to all the places. The older music's very synthwavy. The newer music is synthwave with it's a little metally, a little rocky, a little post-industrially. The 80s giving way to the 90s. That's what's happening. That's always going to happen. So
weird. That would be your aesthetic based on the branding for tonight's episode.
right. It's almost like I have certain settings that I'm stuck on. I'm super excited for the music video. It's very different than the last one, but it still incorporates some of the AI animation stuff. So that's what I got coming up, whatever. And let us know what you thought of this episode. If you're tuning in from if you normally watched like a GC or a Grawlix Nights, let me know if you enjoyed this GCU. But we're gonna keep doing it regardless, but
yeah,
cool if you enjoyed it too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. We do it when no one listens, but when they do, then we have somebody to talk to.
Right. So GrawlixPodcast.com. You can find more Grawlix Cinematic Universe. Be sure to check out the older episodes. Jasper's on there. I don't know if Jasper's going to show up in this season or not. It'd be cool if he did, but Jasper's a daddy now, and he wasn't in the earlier episodes, so I realize his time is much more limited. But if anybody's curious, he's still around. He's just busy man.
Yep.
But check out those older episodes if this is the first GCU you've ever listened to. The older episodes are super fun, edited, and
polished. They
Polished.
got that podedit.com money.
That podedit.com treatment.
Yeah.
This ain't going to have that. Yeah, that's it. Find us everywhere. This episode will be going out on the Grawlix Cinematic Universe podcast feed, just so you know. I will be putting an announcement about that on the regular feed, but just a heads up.
Okay.
All right, that's it. Melanie, I can always tell when Melanie's done. Okay. You need to stop now, is what she's saying.
I don't say that out loud.
You think it, and we can hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
This is the one time I can hear your
like
thoughts.
an Okja super pig. We just know.
We just know. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I don't know if I have it's been so long since I did a normal GCU. I don't think I have a certain sign off. It used to just be making fun of Jasper at the end.
Oh, you did the long fade out, right? Like that's what the old
right.
Yeah, the
it
GCU fade out was like the music would kick in and then the audio would just drop out like an old like a song on a cassette tape from the 80s where the song just didn't end, it just kind of dropped
It just
out.
fades out. That's right. The conversation keeps going and the music comes up and it's just like fades out. Like the conversation never really ends. It just keeps going. But the podcast is just the part that
and then
you
it just abruptly ends, like whenever Randy decides that this is going to end while we're still talking. It'll that's how it'll work, right?
Maybe
like
it'll never. Maybe it
who
will
knows?
Never,
It'll just
maybe
keep going, and we'll just keep rambling about
because
how that's how the ending works.
On
right?
a live stream, the fade out thing, it's not really the same. It's much more abrupt than